You close your eyes and feel yourself lifted gently, as though the ground beneath you dissolves, and the air thins into a silvery calm. The world you know fades into whispers, replaced by an expanse that stretches wider than any horizon you have ever seen. Stars drift lazily, their light soft and unwavering, like lanterns suspended in a dark, infinite hall. Each one hums a quiet, ancient note, vibrating with secrets that predate your imagination. You are not rushing. You are not thinking. You are floating, and in the stillness, you sense the first delicate pulse of wonder. Somewhere among these stellar beacons, tiny wanderers move with patient purpose. They are asteroids, fragments of creation itself, shaped by forces older than mountains and oceans. They glide through space in silent orbits, carrying within them the materials of worlds yet to be. Some are icy, glimmering faintly in the starlight, some are metallic, dense, and gleaming with potential, others are dark, rich with carbon and whispering the chemistry of life. You imagine them drifting lazily, untouched, untamed, yet holding within their small, unassuming bodies the power to change everything. You feel your mind stretch gently toward them. There is no urgency here, only curiosity. You imagine reaching out your hand, though your fingertips cannot touch them, and sensing their weight, their age, their stories. One asteroid spins slowly, a lonely dancer in the emptiness. Another glides silently, its surface scarred with the memory of cosmic collisions, its shape a testament to the patience of time. You sense that even a pebble in this void holds secrets capable of fueling the dreams of civilizations. Your body relaxes further as your mind drifts into their quiet geometry. Space, you realize, is not chaotic, even in its vastness. There is a rhythm here, a pattern to motion that is subtle, almost imperceptible. You feel the pull of invisible threads, gravity weaving connections across millions of kilometers. These asteroids, despite their smallness, are part of a grander dance, a slow choreography that has persisted for billions of years. You imagine tracing their arcs with your mind, gently following each curve, and with each thought, you sink deeper into calm awareness. Some of these stones shimmer faintly, reflecting distant sunlight in soft flashes. You imagine the warmth of that light, filtered and gentle after traveling across the void, and wonder at the stories it might carry. The energy trapped within these wandering rocks is quiet, patient, waiting for the right touch, the right purpose. Perhaps someday, it will awaken under careful hands, feeding engines and cities, fueling human curiosity. For now, though, it rests, and you rest alongside it, a witness to this silent generosity. You notice that no two asteroids are alike. Some are smooth, polished by eons of solar wind and gentle collisions. Others are jagged, broken into facets that catch starlight in glimmers of gold, silver, and deep gray. Your imagination traces along their surfaces, exploring craters, ridges, and tiny crevices. Each scar and groove tells a story, a collision, a moment of formation, a fragment torn from a larger body. In this meditation, science becomes poetry. Each asteroid is a letter in the slow, intricate script of the cosmos. You read with your mind, letting images drift across the canvas of your thoughts. You feel the vastness of space not as emptiness, but as a gentle, embracing presence. There is no hurry, no push. The asteroids move as they will, yet you sense the possibility within them. The nickel, iron, and platinum quietly waiting in their cores, the water ice tucked into shadowed hollows, the carbon-rich dust that could nourish life, these are not mere resources. They are invitations to wonder, to reflection, to imagining what might be possible when humans reach out with care and curiosity. A soft rhythm emerges in your awareness, the quiet pulse of movement and potential. The stones drift, and you drift with them. Your breath aligns with the invisible cadence of the cosmos. Time becomes fluid, stretched between the spaces of thought and the spaces of stars. You imagine a spacecraft gliding slowly alongside one of these rocks, its instruments barely whispering across the surface, studying and measuring, touching lightly without disturbance. Even this technology seems gentle, like a hand brushing over a sleeping creature, awakening knowledge without harm. And yet, there is something even more profound. The asteroids remind you of patience, of the persistence of matter through epochs of change. They existed long before the oceans formed, long before life stirred, long before the first humans looked up at the night sky. They continue on, silent and unhurried, reminding you that some forces are slow and steady, that power can reside in quietness, that the universe has its own rhythms and plans beyond your comprehension. You feel a deep resonance with this truth, a soft alignment of your own heartbeat with the patient motion of cosmic rocks. As your awareness drifts further, you begin to sense the potential that lies in these small bodies. Not as a threat, not as a prize to seize, but as a promise. Within them are the seeds of energy, the building blocks of metal and water, the very elements that could one day sustain human life beyond the cradle of Earth. You feel your imagination stretch, thinking of cities built from materials born in the same fire that created planets, of machines fueled by asteroids' quiet gifts, of futures that begin in the silent drift of stones across the cosmic sea. You linger in this reverie, letting each image settle gently in your mind. The stars continue their patient glimmer, the asteroids their slow, majestic drift, and you float in the calm awareness of connection and possibility. You realize that even the smallest fragment has its story, its value, and its role in the larger rhythm of the cosmos. You breathe in harmony with this understanding, feeling the soft hum of potential vibrate through your thoughts. And as you drift, a question brushes against the edges of your mind, gentle and unhurried. How did these stones come to be so varied, so rich in the materials that shape worlds? How do they carry the memory of cosmic creation in their silent forms? You do not need to answer now. You simply let the thought linger, a soft invitation, a thread leading toward the next chapter, where the story of their origin will unfold. You drift further into the silent expanse, and the asteroids from the last chapter seem to grow closer, their forms more distinct in your mind's eye. You sense their quiet pulse, a vibration older than memory, as if time itself has imprinted upon them. Each fragment tells a story not just of distance, but of origin. You feel yourself drawn into the birth of worlds, transported gently to the moment when the solar system was young, when swirling clouds of dust and gas first coalesced into stars and planets. The asteroids you see are not mere stones, they are fragments of history, each carrying a memory from the earliest days of creation. Some are remnants of planets that never fully formed, left behind in the vast emptiness, abandoned by gravity but preserved in silence. Others are shards chipped from collisions between young planetary bodies, flung across the void to drift for billions of years. You imagine them spinning slowly, their surfaces scarred with the echoes of ancient violence, yet serene in their long, patient drift. You reach out with your mind, feeling the texture of their surfaces. The metallic ones are dense and heavy, composed largely of nickel and iron, formed in the hearts of early planetary cores. You imagine the heat and pressure that created them, a slow, molten symphony at the dawn of the solar system. Each metallic asteroid is like a tiny heartbeat of creation, its weight and density telling you about the forces that shaped entire planets long before life existed on Earth. You sense the energy contained within, calm but immense, waiting quietly to be understood. Others are icy, fragile and luminous in the soft light of distant stars. You picture them forming in the colder reaches of space, where sunlight is weak and temperatures are low. Water, ammonia, and other volatiles froze into crystalline forms, embedding themselves in the dust and rock. These icy bodies carry within them the memory of the solar system's outer regions, the birthplace of comets, and perhaps the seeds of water that would one day nurture life on Earth. You imagine tracing along their frozen surfaces, feeling the delicate balance of ice and dust, and sensing how such simple compounds could carry such profound potential. Some asteroids are dark and rich with carbon, almost absorbing the faint starlight around them. You imagine peering into their depths and seeing the chemistry of life itself encoded in their composition. Organic molecules, amino acids, and complex carbon chains drift silently within these fragments, vestiges of the processes that predate Earth, hints of how matter arranges itself into the possibility of life. You feel a soft wonder as your mind contemplates the notion that the building blocks of life might have been carried across the void on stones like these, quiet messengers traveling for eons before ever touching a living hand. You notice that each asteroid has a shape and a personality, formed by forces both gentle and violent. Some are smooth and rounded, their surfaces polished by micrometeorite impacts and solar radiation. Others are jagged and irregular, the scars of collisions and gravitational nudges. You imagine these rocks colliding and rebounding, a slow ballet of cosmic interactions, and you feel the patience and persistence of the universe expressed in every dent and crack. You realize that even in their apparent stillness, they are engaged in a long, quiet dialogue with the forces around them. Time, as you feel it, stretches and folds. You imagine the solar nebula, the spinning disk of gas and dust from which planets, moons, and asteroids were born. Gravity pulls matter together, forming clumps that grow slowly, spinning and heating, colliding and merging. Some clumps become planets, large and commanding, others remain small, wandering stones like the asteroids you observe now. You sense the delicate balance required to form worlds, and the randomness that allows some fragments to drift quietly in the void for billions of years. The textures, compositions, and movements of these asteroids tell a story not just of matter, but of time itself. You imagine holding a fragment of an asteroid in your mind's hand. It feels impossibly old, each atom a tiny witness to events that unfolded long before human eyes existed. The metallic core might have formed in the intense heat and pressure at the center of a protoplanet, while the icy mantle was shaped in the frigid outskirts of the solar system. The carbon-rich dust records the chemistry of early nebulae, the slow interaction of sunlight, ice, and gas. Each layer is a memory, each molecule a letter in the universe's long, patient story. You feel the quiet enormity of these origins. These stones are not passive, they are dynamic in their history, shaped by forces both gentle and violent. They have survived collisions, gravitational tugs, and the passage of light and time. You imagine the countless tiny impacts that have pitted their surfaces, the slow heating by the young sun, and the delicate layering of elements across millennia. Even in the vastness of space, these asteroids hold order, a meticulous record of creation that you are invited to witness. As you drift, the differences among asteroids become a soft rhythm, a melody of diversity that is both calming and deeply informative. You sense that understanding them is like reading a cosmic diary. Some speak of fire and heat, some whisper of cold and ice, some hum quietly with the chemistry that may have led to life itself. You feel your mind attuned to their stories, each detail unfolding gently, like pages turning in a book written across billions of years. You notice that these fragments are not isolated, they exist in clusters, families, and belts. The asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter hums quietly in your awareness, a corridor of ancient matter, each stone moving predictably, each orbit a soft echo of gravitational order. You sense the faint tug of Jupiter's massive gravity, sculpting the belt, keeping chaos at bay while allowing gentle collisions that shape and refine these cosmic leftovers. You imagine floating among them, feeling the subtle pull of invisible forces, a meditative dance of motion and potential. And yet, despite their immense age and quiet drift, you sense their untapped promise. The metals, the ice, the carbon-rich compounds, these stones are more than relics. They are the raw material for understanding, for technology, for life beyond Earth. You imagine sending gentle hands, robotic or human, to touch them, to study them, to gently awaken the secrets stored inside. There is patience required, thoughtfulness, a recognition that these fragments are not merely objects, but records of the universe itself. In this calm reflection, you begin to feel a connection to the earliest moments of the solar system. These asteroids are messengers from that time, carrying encoded histories that can teach you about the origins of planets, the chemistry of life, and the slow artistry of gravity and time. You breathe in the resonance of their stories, letting your mind drift along their surfaces, feeling the immense age, the quiet power, and the persistent beauty that has survived eons. As you linger, a gentle question emerges in your thoughts, soft but insistent. How do these stones, these silent witnesses of creation, hold the keys to the materials and energy that might one day sustain human life beyond Earth? You do not need to answer yet. You simply let the question rest, like a soft ripple across a still pond, ready to carry you into the next chapter, where the tactile, tangible science of these rocks will awaken under your curiosity. You extend your mind gently, as though your fingers could brush the surface of a distant asteroid. It is small, unassuming, yet you sense its immense history. Each atom within it has journeyed across billions of kilometers, untouched by human hands, shaped only by the quiet, relentless forces of the cosmos. You feel the weight of this journey in your awareness, the slow migration of matter through space and time, and you marvel at the intricate orchestration that allowed such a stone to exist. Your mind traces the surface, imagining its texture rough in some areas, polished in others, scarred by countless collisions with smaller meteoroids. Each imperfection is a record of ancient events, each crater a gentle echo of violence that shaped the stone over eons. And yet, beneath the surface, hidden from immediate view, lies a world of chemical complexity waiting to be explored. You feel a soft curiosity stirring, a desire to understand the invisible symphony of elements within this small wanderer. You imagine your hand pressing lightly against the stone, sensing the subtle difference between iron, nickel, and traces of platinum. Iron and nickel form the dense core, heavy and enduring, a reminder of the early heat and pressure that condensed the interiors of protoplanets. Platinum lies sparsely, like a hidden treasure, scattered among the grains, a whisper of rarity and value. Each element tells a story of cosmic processes, of particles colliding, melting, and settling into place across unimaginable spans of time. You feel a quiet awe at the precision of nature's chemistry, how matter itself arranges to create diversity, strength, and potential. You imagine the stone's crystalline structures, invisible to your eyes, yet vivid in your mind. Atoms align in meticulous patterns, forming lattices that give the rock its resilience. You sense the slow dance of electrons, a silent rhythm that underpins the physical world. Each vibration, each chemical bond, is a note in a symphony too vast and delicate to hear, yet your imagination tunes into it. Science becomes a story you can feel, a tactile journey through the invisible architecture of matter. The asteroid is not just a collection of elements, it is a library of potential. Nickel and iron could become alloys, forming the bones of machines, the supports of structures, the conduits for electricity. Platinum, rare and resistant to corrosion, could catalyze chemical reactions, driving engines, or generating energy. You imagine holding a fragment, feeling its cold density, knowing that within it lies the ability to sustain technology, to power devices, and perhaps even life, in ways that are still beyond immediate reach. Water, sometimes hidden within cracks or icy patches, whispers quietly of possibility. Ice may have formed billions of years ago, preserved in shadowed recesses, awaiting release into a human or robotic touch. You feel the latent potential of hydrogen and oxygen bound in frozen form, ready to fuel rockets or nourish life far from Earth. The asteroid, in its stillness, holds both energy and sustenance, patiently waiting for the delicate intervention of intelligent hands. You sense the beauty in this patience. Science is not rushed here. Understanding the chemistry beneath your fingers is like listening to a story told in slow, deliberate tones. You do not need to grasp everything at once. The atoms, the elements, the molecular bonds, they reveal themselves gently, as if inviting you to linger, to explore the texture and composition in your mind, to imagine the processes that shaped them over billions of years. You feel a rhythm, a quiet pulse of knowledge, that matches the slow drift of the asteroid itself. As you move your awareness deeper, you begin to see the connections between elements. Iron and nickel form cores, carbon and silicates form mantles, rare metals glimmer like secret sparks, hidden yet persistent. You sense the interplay between abundance and rarity, between the familiar and the extraordinary. Every element has a role, a story, a purpose, and your mind drifts among them like fingers tracing an invisible sculpture. You feel a gentle satisfaction in understanding the harmony and balance within the asteroid's makeup. You notice that even within a single fragment, diversity reigns. Tiny pockets of different materials exist, layered over time by collisions, heating, and cooling. You imagine the asteroid forming in the early solar system, particles sticking together in gentle gravity, growing slowly, absorbing new material, resisting erosion. Each layer is a diary entry in the history of matter, each molecule a note in the quiet symphony of creation. You feel privileged to read it, even in the realm of imagination, without haste, without interruption. You imagine yourself learning to distinguish the properties of each element not through textbooks, but through feeling, intuition, and attentive observation. Iron feels dense and stable, grounding, nickel is smooth, resilient, quietly conductive. Platinum is rare, almost imperceptible, yet powerful in subtle ways. You sense how these properties translate into utility, strength, conductivity, chemical reactivity, resistance to decay. The asteroid becomes a teacher, and your mind becomes a receptive pupil, attuned to the lessons hidden within ordinary matter. As you explore the surface with your mind, you begin to understand the concept of extraction. Not in haste or violence, but in gentle, precise ways. You imagine future explorers or machines brushing across the surface, identifying pockets of metal or ice, selecting carefully, conserving as they gather. There is artistry in this science, a mindfulness that honors the asteroid's history while awakening its potential. You feel the calm reassurance of thoughtful, deliberate interaction with matter that has existed longer than any human lifetime. Your mind drifts to the larger implications. These elements, scattered across tiny wandering stones, could one day support technology that moves beyond Earth. They could supply materials for satellites, spacecraft, and habitats, enabling exploration without depleting the fragile resources of your home planet. You feel a quiet thrill, not of urgency, but of potential, imagining how understanding the science beneath your fingertips could ripple outward into practical, life-sustaining ways. And yet, even as you contemplate utility, you sense wonder. These are not just tools, they are stories in matter. Each element, each bond, each crystalline lattice is a testament to cosmic patience, to the quiet unfolding of forces over billions of years. You feel the hum of history vibrating gently through your imagination, a lullaby of creation, stability, and possibility. Science and poetry merge, and the tactile understanding of matter becomes a soft, meditative experience. You linger in this awareness, letting your mind float along with the asteroid, tracing the invisible architecture of its composition. You feel a deep sense of connection, a sense that understanding begins not with mastery, but with attentive curiosity and respect for the slow processes that created the universe's gifts. Your fingertips brush along imaginary veins of metal, patches of ice, hidden platinum, and you feel the quiet thrill of knowledge unfolding gently. And as you drift further, a soft question arises: how do these elemental stories, held quietly in distant asteroids, translate into human hands and minds, into tools, energy, and life? You do not answer yet, you simply rest with the question, letting it carry you toward the next chapter, where the rhythms and orbits of these stones will guide your understanding, and the cosmic dance of motion will become a lullaby in itself. You drift further into space, guided by your curiosity, and notice that the asteroids you have been imagining are not merely floating at random. They trace arcs and curves that seem both delicate and deliberate, as though an invisible hand is choreographing their motion. Each rock moves with quiet certainty, responding to forces that are gentle, persistent, and invisible. You sense the vastness of the void, yet within it, a slow rhythm emerges, a cosmic dance that has been unfolding for billions of years. Gravity is the gentle conductor of this dance. You imagine invisible threads stretching between planets, stars, and asteroids, pulling and tugging with a patient persistence that shapes the movement of every body. You feel it as a soft, almost imperceptible pulse, guiding the stones along their orbits, keeping them in harmony while allowing subtle deviations. These forces are immense and yet tender, invisible yet undeniable, a reminder that the universe operates with both precision and grace. You drift alongside a small asteroid, watching its path curve around the sun in a near-perfect ellipse. You sense the pull of the sun's gravity, steady and unwavering, shaping its motion. At the same time, you notice tiny nudges from other bodies, planets, moons, even other asteroids. These nudges are imperceptible in isolation, yet over time they create small adjustments, shifts in orbit that ripple across millions of years. You feel the patience of these adjustments, the slow accumulation of change, and you realize that even the smallest force can guide motion across vast distances. The asteroid belt emerges in your awareness, a corridor of countless stones moving with their own rhythms. Each asteroid's path is influenced by its neighbors, yet there is order in the apparent chaos. Resonances appear, subtle alignments that repeat over centuries, keeping the belt stable even as collisions occasionally occur. You imagine floating through the belt, brushing past rocks that have drifted for billions of years, feeling their gentle gravitation tug slightly at your awareness. The dance of order and motion feels like a lullaby, a soft pattern your mind can follow and rest within. You sense that no orbit is accidental. Even asteroids that seem isolated are part of a network of gravitational influence. You imagine Jupiter, immense and commanding, shaping the asteroid belt with its silent pull. Its gravity shepherds some fragments into resonances, keeps others at safe distances, and occasionally flings a stray asteroid toward the inner solar system. You feel the subtle, patient hand of such forces guiding the stones, a reminder that the universe achieves balance over time through gentle, persistent influence rather than sudden control. You notice that some asteroids wobble slightly as they spin, a rotation influenced by sunlight itself. The Yarkovsky effect, a soft nudge caused by uneven heating and cooling, moves them imperceptibly across space. You feel the wonder of this, how light, so gentle, can shape motion across millions of years. Even in stillness, energy and time combine to guide matter, creating pathways that seem deliberate, though they emerge from countless small forces acting over unimaginable spans. Your mind drifts to the concept of orbital resonance, a subtle alignment between two or more bodies that repeats rhythmically. You imagine two asteroids, their paths intersecting in perfect timing every few orbits, creating a pattern that stabilizes their motion. There is a quiet poetry in this repetition, a music of motion that echoes across the void. You feel your mind attuned to these rhythms, sensing them not with eyes or hands, but with awareness itself. Time stretches and folds as you follow the intricate arcs, understanding intuitively the harmony that underlies seemingly chaotic motion. You notice how collisions, rare but inevitable, are softened by the vast distances between objects. Even when rocks collide, they do so slowly, measured in comparison to the immense forces that created them. You imagine the delicate balance of energy and momentum, how fragments scatter and settle into new orbits, continuing the dance without chaos. There is calm in this inevitability, a lesson in resilience and adaptation. The universe moves steadily, calmly, without hurry, and you feel a soft resonance in your mind and body. The elegance of orbital mechanics extends to distant bodies as well. You imagine comets, long-period visitors from the outer solar system, tracing elongated paths that bring them close to the sun before returning to the depths of space. Each orbit is a story of gravitational influence, angular momentum, and the quiet tug of unseen forces. You sense that even the farthest wanderers are part of the same cosmic dance, moving in rhythm with the universe's careful patterns. The vastness is not empty, it is structured, patient, and deliberate. As you drift, your awareness expands to include the concept of stability over time. Asteroids maintain their orbits not by force alone, but through the interplay of countless small influences. You imagine the cumulative effect of these subtle interactions, shaping paths that endure for eons. You sense the slow poetry of motion, the quiet patience required for order to emerge naturally. It is a reminder that in the universe, persistence and subtlety can achieve harmony without force or haste. You feel a gentle connection between the science you know and the patterns you sense. The equations of motion, the physics of gravity, the invisible threads of orbital resonance all become tactile, not abstract. You sense the push and pull of mass and distance, the careful nudges of energy and momentum, as if tracing them with your fingertips. Understanding becomes a feeling, a meditation, a quiet attunement to the rhythm of matter and motion. You notice that the paths of these asteroids are also stories of potential. Their stable orbits bring them near enough to be studied, to be touched, to be explored. Yet their motion is cautious, precise, reminding you that exploration requires patience and timing. The universe does not yield its treasures abruptly, it offers them slowly, according to rhythm, with an invitation to observe, understand, and respect. You feel the anticipation of possibility mingled with calm, knowing that discovery is a gentle unfolding. As your awareness drifts through the patterns of motion, you imagine following a single asteroid over time. You watch as its orbit wobbles slightly, influenced by planetary pulls and sunlight, drifting imperceptibly across millions of kilometers. Each motion is a whisper, a soft story of physics, energy, and time. You feel the gentle tension and release in its path, the harmony of countless forces working together, and you sense a quiet satisfaction in understanding how the universe maintains balance without haste. And yet, there is more to learn. You sense that the asteroid's motion is only part of the story, that beneath its orbit lie compositions, energies, and secrets waiting to be explored. You imagine reaching out, touching the surface with careful curiosity, feeling the nickel, iron, platinum, ice, and carbon-rich compounds within. The dance of motion is connected to the substance beneath your fingertips, and you feel a soft anticipation of understanding how the physical and the dynamic merge. In this gentle meditation, you recognize the universe as a vast, flowing symphony. Each asteroid, planet, and particle contributes a note, a rhythm, a movement that is both independent and harmonized. You breathe slowly, allowing your mind to drift with the stones, to feel the invisible threads of gravity, to sense the quiet nudges of resonance. Space is not empty, it is filled with motion, potential, and patience, and you are part of its awareness, attuned to the subtle poetry of orbiting matter. And as you float alongside the asteroid, feeling the invisible threads of motion guiding its path, a soft thought drifts into your mind: if these stones move with such patient precision, what possibilities lie in harnessing their composition, their energy, and their quiet order to support life and civilization beyond Earth? You drift alongside the asteroid belt, letting your mind follow the gentle arcs traced by countless stones. The paths are serene, rhythmic, yet a soft question emerges in your thoughts: how might humans, fragile and grounded, reach out to touch these distant travelers? You imagine the dream of a spacecraft gliding slowly through the darkness, engines whispering instead of roaring, instruments alive with curiosity, moving toward a rock that has floated silently for billions of years. The first touch must be delicate. You picture a robotic arm extending slowly, hovering just above the surface. It does not strike, it does not grasp aggressively. Instead, it caresses, pressing gently against the icy dust, brushing loose grains into a carefully measured container. You sense the skill required, the patience embedded in every motion, and you feel a quiet awe at the marriage of human ingenuity with the vast patience of the cosmos. You imagine the surface of the asteroid beneath that robotic touch. It is uneven, covered in craters and fractures, layered with dust that has drifted in from countless collisions. Some areas are soft, almost powdery, while others are firm and metallic. The robotic instruments, guided by minds on Earth, sense these textures with precision, adjusting, nudging, and measuring. You feel the careful rhythm of the operation, the subtle balance between force and gentleness, as if playing a slow, cosmic instrument that has been silent for eons. Water ice glimmers faintly in shaded craters. You imagine the robot brushing gently across a frozen patch, gathering molecules that have persisted since the solar system's youth. Hydrogen and oxygen, bound in silence for billions of years, now awaken to the possibility of utility. You feel the quiet majesty of this process, how something so ordinary on Earth can be extraordinary in the vacuum of space. It is not mere extraction, it is discovery, a conversation with history itself. Metals lie beneath the surface, waiting patiently. Nickel, iron, platinum each holds the promise of tools, machines, and energy. You picture robotic drills or gentle scoops moving slowly, measuring the density and composition, ensuring the asteroid remains intact even as it yields some of its gifts. You feel the care, the intelligence, and the persistence required, and you understand that human ambition in space is not a rush of conquest, but a measured dance, harmonizing with forces far older and more enduring than ourselves. The spacecraft itself is quiet, a sentinel floating through infinite darkness. Solar panels glimmer softly in the distant sunlight, sensors blink with awareness, and cameras record with patient diligence. You imagine the minds on Earth watching in real time, sending commands in small pulses, adjusting for delays measured in minutes, ensuring that every motion respects the fragility and history of the asteroid. The distance, the silence, and the precision combine into a gentle tension, a soft excitement that is calm yet profound. You notice the tiny jets that stabilize the spacecraft. They puff with small bursts, just enough to maintain balance, allowing the robotic arm to move without trembling. You feel the elegance of engineering expressed in these subtle adjustments, and you sense that every movement, no matter how minor, is a meditation in physics and patience. The universe does not hurry, and neither does exploration that honors the nature of what is being touched. Imagine, for a moment, the first grains of asteroid dust collected in a tiny container. They are fragments that have never known Earth, untouched by human hands, yet now they are held delicately, their chemical whispers ready to be interpreted. Carbon compounds, metallic alloys, traces of ice, all are messages from deep time, waiting to be read. You feel the intimacy of holding knowledge that predates the planet, a connection across distance, time, and the quiet persistence of matter. The surface is alive with history, even as it remains inanimate. You imagine brushing past small boulders, feeling the subtle differences in composition, noticing how some rocks are denser, richer in metals, while others are fragile and porous. You sense that each decision matters: where to sample, how to move, how to maintain equilibrium. The process is not hurried, it is attentive, mindful, respectful, and rhythmic. You feel a calm satisfaction, knowing that every touch honors the story written in the asteroid itself. You notice the faint glint of sunlight bouncing off a metallic patch. It seems almost playful, a secret revealed only to those who approach with care. You imagine instruments analyzing this glimmer, determining its composition, its history, its potential. Platinum, rare and precious, lies hidden beneath layers of iron and nickel, waiting for patient discovery. You feel a quiet wonder at the precision required to uncover such treasures, not for greed, but for understanding and utility, for the possibility of sustaining life beyond Earth. Even the smallest movements are a meditation. A scoop lifts slightly, a drill turns slowly, a sensor hums softly as it measures vibrations, temperature, and chemical makeup. You feel the rhythm of these actions, like a slow breathing, in sync with the silent asteroid and the immense void surrounding it. There is a calm joy in observation, a gentle triumph in learning without disturbance, a quiet excitement in revealing the secrets of a stone that has drifted for billions of years. You imagine returning the samples to the spacecraft, storing them with care, keeping their integrity intact. Every grain of dust, every icy fragment, every metallic speck is preserved as a testament to patience, planning, and understanding. You sense that the process of touching the untouchable is not a conquest, but a conversation, a dialogue across space, time, and material. You feel your own heartbeat slow, synchronized with the deliberate pace of exploration, as if your mind and the asteroid share a rhythm of curiosity and respect. And yet, the challenge remains. Space resists haste. Distances are immense, gravity is unpredictable, and even small errors can have profound consequences. You feel the tension, but it is tempered by knowledge, by engineering, and by the patient adaptation of human ingenuity. Each adjustment, each careful maneuver, is a meditation on balance and understanding. You sense that this is the essence of touching the untouchable, a harmony between human curiosity and cosmic patience, between ambition and reverence. As you drift further, you imagine the first successful harvest of an asteroid's resources. Water, metals, and carbon compounds are measured and catalogued, their potential gently unlocked. You feel the quiet thrill of discovery, tempered by awe and humility. The universe has shared a secret, slowly and carefully, and you have witnessed the moment of understanding. There is no rush, only the satisfaction of attentive observation and respectful interaction with matter older than imagination itself. And in this calm reflection, you begin to sense the broader meaning. Touching the untouchable is not merely about gaining resources. It is about learning patience, understanding precision, honoring history, and connecting with forces older and more enduring than human lifetimes. You feel a soft kinship with engineers, scientists, and explorers, all engaged in this careful dialogue across space. You sense that curiosity, guided by respect, can reach even the most distant stones. Your awareness drifts along with the asteroid, the spacecraft, and the robotic arm. Every movement, every measurement, every gentle brush against the surface is a meditation in motion. You feel the merging of mind, imagination, and science into a soft, rhythmic flow. The asteroid has yielded a part of itself, but it retains its mystery, its history, its patient silence. You sense that this dialogue is only the beginning, that the universe has many more lessons to offer. And as your mind rests with the image of the robotic arm hovering gently over the surface, collecting fragments that have floated for eons, a quiet question lingers. How will the energy and materials hidden within these silent stones shape life and civilization in the future, as human hands and minds extend their reach ever further? You float alongside the asteroid, aware now not just of its composition, but of the quiet energy resting within. This energy is subtle, patient, and ancient, accumulated over billions of years. You sense the potential in metallic cores, the stored motion of spinning rocks, and the latent power of frozen water locked in shaded craters. Each fragment of matter carries a promise, waiting for discovery, waiting for gentle awakening. Water ice whispers softly of fuel and life. You imagine sunlight glancing across the surface, warming the rock just enough to release faint molecules into the vacuum, a slow ballet of atoms freed from centuries of slumber. Hydrogen and oxygen, once locked in frozen intimacy, are now potential energy, capable of propelling spacecraft, sustaining human exploration, or supporting life in distant habitats. You feel the subtle pulse of possibility as these molecules awaken to human understanding. Metals glimmer silently, dense and patient, their electrons poised to conduct energy. Nickel and iron, heavy with history, can become structures and pathways for power. platinum and rare metals, scattered like secrets, can catalyze reactions that transform matter into fuel, heat, or electricity. You feel the quiet hum of chemistry as it prepares to serve life, not aggressively, but with infinite patience, like a soft heartbeat beneath the stillness of space. The energy is not always obvious. Volatiles, trapped gases, and chemical bonds hold latent potential that requires careful understanding to unlock. You imagine robotic hands and human ingenuity working together, releasing this energy with subtlety and respect. Each step is deliberate, mining a patch of ice here, extracting metals there, capturing the faint whispers of sunlight and chemical reactions. Energy is never rushed, it is coaxed, nurtured, and revealed gradually. You sense a rhythm in this process, a gentle synchronization of knowledge, curiosity, and physics. Energy is not just power, it is potential waiting for context, waiting for intention. You imagine small reactors and collection systems absorbing these materials, transforming their quiet latent force into tools, movement, or warmth. The asteroid is no longer inert, it hums softly in your awareness, a reservoir of possibilities. Even in their patience, these stones remind you of limits. Energy must be extracted carefully, too much, too fast, and the delicate balance of their orbit, mass, or structure could be disrupted. You feel the mindfulness required, the gentle reverence for forces that have existed longer than human lifetimes. Here, science and poetry converge, you understand the power that sleeps within, while feeling the need to move with respect and awareness. You imagine floating through a field of asteroids, each one offering a different type of energy. Some are icy, full of frozen water ready to sustain life or fuel rockets. Some are rich in metals, dense with chemical potential. Some contain rare compounds, subtle in their effect but powerful when used wisely. You feel a connection to these stones, a sense of anticipation and calm, like waiting for dawn after a long, quiet night. The extraction process is slow and measured. Solar energy can warm volatile ices, triggering gentle chemical reactions. Mechanical tools can separate metals from dust without disturbing the asteroid's balance. You imagine watching the process, not with urgency, but as a meditation, observing the transformation of latent energy into forms that can sustain human life far from home. Every atom becomes a small pulse of potential, a heartbeat in a quiet symphony of creation and use. And as you rest in this awareness, a soft thought drifts in. The energy of the universe is patient, waiting for thoughtful hands and careful minds to awaken it. You feel the hum of possibilities, the latent force of matter prepared to serve, not as conquest, but as collaboration. And in this calm reflection, your curiosity turns outward, toward Earth, toward the civilization that might benefit from this patient bounty, guided by knowledge and care. You imagine looking back at Earth from the calm vastness of space. Its blue oceans, green forests, and swirling clouds appear serene, yet beneath this beauty, there is a quiet hunger. Humanity's civilization requires metals, water, and energy resources that are finite, pressed against growing demand. You sense this need as a gentle pull, a quiet rhythm of dependency that the Earth itself expresses, not in anger, but in subtle nudges and limits. Industry hums softly, machines turning, networks flowing, lights glowing. You imagine the hidden movements of energy, the flow of minerals from deep within the Earth, and the subtle tension of demand and supply. Each machine, each structure, each city carries the weight of extraction, the echo of energy spent, the reminder that resources are not endless. You feel a soft compassion for the Earth, a recognition of the delicate balance it maintains while hosting life. And then you turn your attention to the asteroids. Their silence contrasts with Earth's restless activity. They are patient, waiting, containing metals, water, and volatiles that have drifted untouched for billions of years. You imagine humanity reaching out, not with haste, not with violence, but with thoughtful intention. Mining these stones is not about taking recklessly, it is about careful harvesting, guided by knowledge, precision, and respect. You picture robotic spacecraft gently brushing surfaces, measuring composition, and selecting materials with deliberation. Water is extracted from icy craters with care, metals are collected without destabilizing the rock's orbit. Each step is a conversation with the asteroid, a negotiation of sorts, a calm interaction that honors the stone's history while opening its potential to serve life beyond Earth. You feel the patience, the balance, and the quiet responsibility embedded in each action. You imagine the journey of these resources from asteroid to Earth or to orbiting habitats. Water might nourish astronauts or fuel rockets, metals might build satellites or infrastructure, and rare elements could power advanced technologies. You sense the delicacy of transport, the need to preserve the material's integrity, and the quiet planning that ensures every interaction is safe, measured, and mindful. The universe does not hurry, and neither should those who borrow its gifts. The contrast between Earth's hunger and the asteroid's patience is profound. You feel the gentle tension between immediate need and long-term sustainability. It is a lesson not in scarcity, but in mindfulness, how to meet demands without causing imbalance, how to take only what is necessary, how to honor both the giver and the receiver. You sense that stewardship is not imposed but emerges naturally from understanding and respect. You imagine scientists and engineers as quiet stewards, translating the silent offerings of the asteroids into tools and energy for civilization. Each decision is measured, each calculation precise. You feel the meditative rhythm of planning and execution, a dance between knowledge and patience, between curiosity and caution. Human hands, guided by intelligence, interact with cosmic matter in a way that bridges time, distance, and responsibility. Even as you contemplate the transfer of materials, you sense Earth's limits. Mining must not disrupt the balance of ecosystems or deplete resources faster than renewal allows. Energy must be used wisely, not squandered. Metals must be recycled, conserved, and utilized thoughtfully. You feel the quiet whisper of responsibility, urging humanity to act with care, even as it reaches for opportunity beyond the atmosphere. And yet, the potential is immense. Asteroids carry energy and matter that can alleviate some of Earth's pressure. Water for life and fuel, metals for technology, rare compounds for innovation all drift quietly, ready to assist if approached with patience and respect. You sense that the universe is generous, but generosity requires mindfulness. You feel a soft calm as understanding deepens. It is not merely about taking, but about creating harmony between human ambition and cosmic patience. You imagine floating through orbit, watching Earth's cities shimmer faintly against the dark. You sense the movement of energy and resources, both terrestrial and extraterrestrial. Metals harvested from asteroids could reduce the need for intensive mining on Earth, water could support long-term exploration, and rare elements could power technologies with minimal ecological cost. You feel a quiet hope in this connection, a soft rhythm of cooperation between worlds. Humanity's hunger, once a source of tension, now becomes an opportunity for collaboration and stewardship. You imagine international teams of scientists, engineers, and planners working together, guided by ethics as much as by physics. Decisions are not rushed, each action is measured against potential consequences. You feel the satisfaction of mindful ambition, a calm assurance that exploration and consumption can coexist without imbalance. You notice that the gifts of the asteroids are not infinite, yet they are abundant enough to inspire innovation. You imagine calculations and careful planning, balancing immediate needs with long-term goals. You sense a rhythm: take, replenish, observe, adjust. The cycle is slow, measured, and deliberate, reflecting the patient movements of the asteroids themselves. You feel a soft alignment with the cosmic patterns you observed in previous chapters, a harmony between motion, matter, and human intention. And as you float, the thought drifts gently: how can human ambition be guided to align with cosmic patience, to harvest resources without overwhelming the natural rhythms of either Earth or the asteroids? You rest with this question, letting the quiet hum of potential energy, resources, and responsibility settle in your mind. You feel the calm promise of a future where curiosity, care, and understanding flow together, bridging worlds and expanding the reach of human life without haste or harm. You float in the quiet vastness, among the wandering asteroids, feeling the stillness of space. Yet within this calm, subtle risks emerge, shadows that whisper softly of the challenges inherent in exploration. Even a small miscalculation, a fraction too much thrust, or an unexpected collision can alter trajectories over millions of kilometers. You sense the delicate tension between human curiosity and the universe's silent, unyielding rules. Collisions are rare but inevitable. You imagine two asteroids drifting gently toward each other, their velocities measured in kilometers per second. When they meet, energy is released not in chaos, but in a slow, calculated scattering of fragments. You sense the patience of nature, even in its violence, it moves according to rhythm and law. You feel awe at the delicate balance that maintains the solar system while allowing motion and occasional transformation. Navigation across such immense distances requires care. You picture spacecraft sending signals across millions of kilometers, their instruments calculating position, orientation, and velocity with extraordinary precision. You feel the quiet pressure of timing, commands sent from Earth arrive minutes later, and adjustments must be made with patience, foresight, and careful observation. In this, you sense a meditation in motion, space exploration as a dialogue with the universe, where haste has no place. You imagine the effect of micrometeoroids in cosmic dust. Tiny particles, often invisible, drift silently, moving at immense speeds. A collision with these grains can damage instruments, erode surfaces, or even alter a spacecraft's trajectory subtly. You feel the tension in these possibilities, yet you also sense the beauty of preparation and resilience. Engineers anticipate, adjust, and design with mindfulness, turning potential peril into calculated, manageable risks. Radiation drifts silently through the void. You imagine invisible particles and solar flares reaching the spacecraft, carrying energy that could disrupt electronics or affect human travelers. You feel the necessity of shielding, of careful monitoring, and of anticipation. There is a quiet poetry in this vigilance. Every measure taken reflects knowledge, foresight, and respect for forces that have existed since before Earth formed. Even gravity itself can surprise. You drift alongside a small asteroid influenced by a nearby planet. Its path shifts slightly, almost imperceptibly. You sense the slow unfolding of gravitational interactions, tiny nudges amplified over millions of kilometers. You feel a delicate tension, knowing that these forces are powerful, yet predictable when studied carefully. This is a universe that requires patience, attention, and understanding to navigate safely. You imagine human hands extending carefully into this domain, knowing that every decision carries weight. The placement of a thruster, the timing of a collection, or the trajectory chosen can mean the difference between success and failure. You feel a meditation in preparation, the act of moving with care, of anticipating risks, and of responding thoughtfully to the universe's inherent unpredictability. Yet, in this careful attention, there is beauty. Risk does not diminish wonder, it enhances it. You feel the quiet thrill of exploration, balanced by awareness. Every calculation, every adjustment, every cautious maneuver becomes part of a rhythmic dance with the cosmos. You sense that safety and curiosity are not opposites, they are companions, guiding human action with patience and respect. Communication is slow, measured, deliberate. You imagine operators sending signals, waiting minutes for acknowledgement, and adjusting accordingly. Each delay encourages contemplation, reflection, and mindfulness. The vastness itself becomes a teacher, showing that urgency has little place in a universe that moves according to scales far beyond human perception. You feel a soft calm in this realization, knowing that exploration is not just about speed, but about harmony with cosmic law. Even equipment carries the weight of preparation. Robotic arms, drills, sensors, and containers are designed to anticipate failure, to absorb impact, and to respond to unexpected motion. You sense a meditation in engineering, a poetry in patience, and a rhythm in foresight. Space is not cruel, it is precise, demanding careful attention, and offering profound lessons in humility. And yet, despite these risks, you feel the gentle pull of possibility. Energy, metals, and water drift quietly among the asteroids, waiting to be discovered. The universe is patient, and humans must be equally so. You feel a soft alignment between potential and vigilance, understanding that careful preparation ensures that exploration remains safe, deliberate, and deeply rewarding. And as you drift among shadows and starlight, a quiet thought emerges: even in the vastness of space, careful mindfulness transforms risk into opportunity, guiding human ambition with patience and grace. You imagine the journey from asteroid to human hands, from raw material to civilization. Tiny grains of cosmic dust drift in containers, unassuming yet heavy with potential. Each particle, whether metal, ice, or carbon, carries a history billions of years long and a promise of utility far beyond its silent existence. You feel the calm thrill of transformation, the quiet wonder of converting wandering stones into sustaining structures and energy. First comes mining, careful and deliberate. You visualize robotic tools brushing and scooping, each movement precise, collecting only what is needed. Dust and fragments are measured, sorted, and prepared for processing. The process is slow, rhythmic, almost meditative. You sense that patience is as important as technology, that understanding and respect accompany every touch of the materials. Then comes refinement. Metals are separated, purified, and processed into forms that humans can use. Nickel becomes frames, platinum becomes catalysts, iron becomes structures. Even water and volatile compounds are transformed into fuel, oxygen, or life-supporting elements. You feel the quiet alchemy unfolding, the transformation of ancient matter into tools for survival and progress. Science is not abrupt here, it is a gentle, guided process of awakening potential. Transportation follows, moving resources across space or into orbiting stations. You imagine containers gliding silently, tethered to spacecraft, their precious cargo moving slowly and steadily. There is no rush, no clamor, just measured motion, gentle coordination, and careful attention. You feel a sense of calm in this orchestration, a rhythm that mirrors the orbits and patterns of the asteroids themselves. As materials arrive, they are incorporated into human projects. Metals are forged into machines, components for energy generation, and frameworks for living spaces. Water is stored and distributed, sustaining life far from Earth. Rare compounds fuel technology that illuminates, warms, and connects. You feel the quiet magic of civilization growing, born from patient observation, deliberate action, and cosmic generosity. Even energy is transformed gently. The potential sleeping in asteroids, hydrogen, oxygen, metallic energy becomes fuel for rockets, electricity for devices, and warmth for life. You sense the pulsing rhythm of conversion, the heartbeat of matter transformed into utility. Each atom contributes to the symphony of civilization, supporting life in ways both subtle and profound. You notice the delicate balance required. Civilization thrives only when resources are used mindfully, extraction is measured, and replenishment is considered. You feel a soft lesson in stewardship. Power is not a rush to consume, but a rhythm of careful use, understanding, and respect for both the origin and the destination of resources. Innovation emerges from these transformations. You imagine engineers, scientists, and visionaries observing patterns, experimenting with new alloys, new energy systems, and new habitats. Each insight flows gently from curiosity, careful observation, and respect for the material's history. Civilization, in this vision, is not imposed, it evolves from patient collaboration with the gifts of the universe. As your awareness drifts, you picture cities and machines in orbit or on distant worlds. They rise slowly, built from cosmic fragments, energized by carefully harvested fuel, and guided by human ingenuity. Each structure, each system, is a testament to the patient unfolding of knowledge, technology, and care. You feel the soft poetry of progress, a rhythm that mirrors the orbital dance of asteroids and planets. Even as you imagine thriving civilizations, you notice the beauty in small-scale transformations. Dust becomes tools, ice becomes water, metals become circuits. Every act of careful change echoes the patient history of the asteroid itself, the slow journey of matter through space and time. You feel a quiet reverence for this chain of transformation, from cosmic wandering to human utility. And yet, as civilization grows, so does curiosity. You sense that humans will continue to explore, to reach beyond, and to harvest carefully from more distant stones. The process of transformation is infinite, a slow and rhythmic journey, extending from ancient cosmic dust to thriving communities, from potential to actuality. You feel the meditative pulse of discovery and creation, a lullaby of possibility and gentle ambition. And as you drift among imagined cities and energy flows, a soft reflection lingers. What dreams might emerge when the materials of the cosmos are combined with human imagination, care, and creativity? You float in the quiet expanse of space once more, the familiar patterns of asteroids and planets surrounding you like an ancient, rhythmic lullaby. You have witnessed matter traveling billions of kilometers, watched human ingenuity reach out, touched potential energy, and imagined civilization rising from cosmic dust. Now, you rest in the gentle contemplation of what lies beyond, sensing the quiet thread that links everything together. The universe stretches infinitely in all directions, a calm ocean of possibility. You feel continuity, a soft current connecting the wandering stones, the energy waiting in silence, and the civilizations emerging from careful transformation. Past and future merge in a slow, reflective rhythm, as though time itself bends gently around the quiet pulse of matter and curiosity. You notice the delicate balance between potential and realization. Energy rests in asteroids, resources drift silently, and human hands, guided by care and understanding, awaken possibilities slowly. Each action, each decision, flows from knowledge and patience, creating a soft continuum where discovery and stewardship coexist. You sense the elegance of this pattern, the quiet poetry of responsible ambition. You imagine distant horizons, worlds yet unexplored, stars yet unvisited, and asteroids yet untouched. Each represents possibility, a gentle invitation to observe, learn, and act with mindfulness. You feel a deep sense of calm and awe, realizing that exploration is not a race but a slow unfolding, an intimate dance with the forces of the universe that have existed long before human thought. The energy sleeping in cosmic rocks is not merely practical, it is symbolic, a reflection of patience, restraint, and continuity. You imagine this energy fueling life, discovery, and imagination in ways that harmonize with the rhythm of space itself. You sense a soft excitement, tempered by serenity, a reminder that potential must be nurtured, not forced. You drift through mental images of cities orbiting distant worlds, spacecraft skimming past asteroids, and humans learning from the universe with reverence. Each vision unfolds slowly, like pages of a story written in light and matter. You feel the quiet satisfaction of understanding the subtle balance between curiosity, responsibility, and potential. Civilization grows not through haste, but through patient interaction with the cosmos. Even the tiniest asteroids, once overlooked, now carry significance. You imagine them drifting silently, each particle holding energy, metals, water, and lessons about resilience, adaptation, and persistence. You sense that the universe communicates in quiet ways, and attentive minds are rewarded with insight, opportunity, and wonder. You feel a soft connection, a bond with matter, energy, and the rhythmic passage of time. The possibilities of exploration extend infinitely. You imagine tools, machines, and life forms reaching ever further, guided by the lessons of patience, balance, and observation. The vast silence of space is not empty, it is filled with rhythm, potential, and gentle invitation. You feel that each thoughtful act, each careful decision, contributes to a harmony that spans planets, stars, and human imagination. And as you drift with these reflections, sleep begins to gather around your awareness. You sense the universe's quiet hum, the latent energy of matter, the careful balance of forces, and the patient unfolding of discovery. Curiosity and calm coexist, a lullaby for the mind, a meditation for the spirit, an assurance that even the farthest stones are within reach if approached with respect and thoughtfulness. You feel continuity linking every chapter of this journey, the wandering stones, the science beneath your fingers, the dance of orbits, the careful touch, the awakening of energy, the responsible use of cosmic gifts, and the slow transformation into civilization. You rest in this continuum, a thread connecting the past, present, and future, a soft reflection of infinite patience and possibility. And as your awareness drifts further, you sense the quietest of truths: the universe waits with infinite patience, offering its gifts to those who move with care, curiosity, and reverence. In this calm understanding, you feel sleep descend gently, carrying dreams of exploration, stewardship, and the limitless horizons that stretch silently beyond every wandering stone.